Hey y'all, it's your girl Yana, and today, of course, we are about to go through my For You page. This was literally the first video that popped up on my tickety talk. I don't know, what side is the camera on? Oh, okay. This is the first video that popped up on my tickety talk, so let's just get right into it. Let me put the screen record on. Alright.
There whose kids have gone no contact. And you're sitting here trying to whose kids have gone no contact. Y'all parents out there whose kids have gone no contact, and you're sitting here trying to blame the child. Sorry, but it's you.
Right. Exactly.
You are to blame. You are always to blame.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Because you are and always have been the adult in the situation.
Exactly. That's what I be saying. Exactly.
You have decades of life experience on your children. You are not on the same level playing field as your children. And that's why a lot of your children, your adult children, have gone no contact with you.
Yeah.
Because when they were children, you're doing the same thing to them now as when they were children, which is behaving like they are on the same equal level playing field as you, the adult in the situation. And they never were, and they still aren't. You have decades of life experience on your child. You are the adult. You wanted to have the child. You chose to bring the child into this world. You chose to take on that responsibility. Yeah. And you were always the power broker in the relationship. Yeah. You were the adult.
Yeah. Period. And then another thing, let me turn my screen recorder off. And another thing is, like, you set the tone for how your child behaves, how they feel about themselves, how they act, how they come to the marketplace, which is this world. All of that you set the stage for. So you have to be in a position of mental fortitude to be able to create a space that is safe, where your child feels seen, heard, secure, and all of those things. It's not just about, you doing your best and providing whatever. You know what? And I said this in multiple videos, your best might not have been enough. The best that you did, if you were a horrible parent, was not good enough. It just is what it is. It doesn't mean you're a bad person. You could be a great business person. You could be a great marketer, a great cook, a great pianist, a great photographer. But it doesn't mean that you were and are a great parent. What she's also talking about with, like, these dynamics is, like, some people say, like, well, my child is raising his voice at me. And it's like, do you raise your voice at your child? You are asking for a child to have more emotional maturity than you do. All you are teaching your child is that because you have power over them, that children are able to bully others because they're smaller than you. They're worth less than you. That's what you're instilling. They don't matter as much as you because they can't yell at you, but you can yell at them. So that just shows that anyone that's weaker than them, they're allowed to dominate. That is what you are teaching. That is what you are showing your child when you do those things. Period. And then people wonder why their children don't want to talk to them anymore. Then people wonder why your child don't really want to be around you or don't want to take care of you, don't want you to be around. It's because of who you are. Not just who you were, definitely who you were, but also who you currently are. If your child had to cut you off, it wasn't because they were excited. It wasn't like, no, I'm joining the club. It's like, wait a minute, I'm finally done being your punching bag. I'm done. I'm over it. I worked too hard to establish this peace. I worked too hard to establish this mental fortitude and wellness. I don't need you over here effing it up. Children don't just decide to cut their family off. As a children's confidence coach, I know how easy and quickly children get attached to you. So if children don't F with you, it's because of you. It's because of something you're doing. If children don't like being around you, that is a huge red flag and a major sign that you need to adjust the way you behave, because children like everybody. Shoot, it's one thing, like, if the child is adjusting to you, like, children do go through an adjustment period, but if you adjust and go with that, eventually you'll crack the egg and you'll see the beautiful little child that's there. Period. So if a child don't like you, you're the problem. Much less your own child. If your own child don't F with you, it's something you did. Period. Period. It doesn't matter how good you feel like you did because you tried your best. Your best wasn't enough. Period. Your best wasn't enough in the market space and in the marketplace. That's just what it is. It doesn't even matter if you tried your best. Good for you. You know, and I get it. Like, well, I don't get it, but because I haven't had that experience, but I can understand, like, coming from a space, you're like, oh, well, I did less than my mom and I did less than that. But just because your parent threw you across the room and now instead of throwing your child across the room, you punch them across the face, it doesn't mean that you did a good job. It doesn't mean that you weren't as bad as your parent, but it doesn't mean you were good. And your child has the right and reserves the right to distance themselves from you. Period. And then these parents will be like, oh, well, you know, such and such. They try to make people think that you're crazy because then no one will look at them in the mirror. No one will get to know you long enough to realize that they are the reason, they are the cause for the pain. So instead, they'll go and say, oh, my child's ungrateful, my child is this, my child is that. Because they think that people don't realize. But me, someone who works with kids, I automatically go into, well, if your child don't rock with you, I don't rock with you either. Because you done something to them. You done something. Your child can't open up to you. It's because the energy you put off is that I'm not a safe place to open up to. I'm not safe to share. Instead of asking, well, why don't y'all tell me X, Y, and Z? Maybe ask yourself, why don't they? Why don't your children feel comfortable enough to come talk to you about stuff? Maybe ask yourself that. Instead of putting it on them. Instead of seeing them at your level, see them at the level that they are. Think about how you feel about your parent when they do X, Y, and Z. And then amplify that. Because if you did less, and they had a slightly softer life as well. So think about that before you come up and immediately get defensive. Think about the fact that perhaps you do have room to grow. Perhaps you weren't perfect. And don't use it, oh, nobody's perfect. Everybody knows nobody's perfect. Shut up with that nonsense. I hate when people say that. Oh, nobody's perfect. Well, duh, nobody's perfect. But not everybody fails. Period. If you continue to fail after you know better, then it's a choice.